Coming up on this episode of Outlook TV, Venus Envy.
Vancouver's Gay Volleyball.
Montreal Village Cabaret Extravaganza. And much, much more. Hello, and welcome to another encore show of Outlook TV. I'm Emily Ann Fraser.
And my name is T. We'd like to thank the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh Nations for the honor and privilege to film this episode of Outlook TV on their traditional unceded lands.
Outlook TV is the queer magazine news show that brings you the stories that matter the most from coast to coast, and Leroy takes us to a drag event over at the Museum of Vancouver.
Here's Pride ResiStories.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for watching Outlook TV. My name is Leroy Wan. Tonight, we are scholars at the Museum of Vancouver getting ready for a show and discussion that's been inspired by queer history. Welcome to ResiStories, Living Archives of Pride.
This is part of a series that we're doing with the UBC Public Humanities Hub. It's called our ResiStories series because we're acknowledging that we're both institutions that are inherently colonial. We like to tell people what their stories are instead of actually having folks from communities just come and tell their stories on their own terms. So that's why we're resisting the typical stories that our institutions tell. We're working with the queer community for Pride Month, and we're acknowledging drag as a living archive, and museums often focus on the object to tell the story, and for museum professionals like myself to say this is what the object means. But this time we're relying on community to tell their story and acknowledging that they are still living.
I love disco, and I think that as much as hip-hop is a recognized black genre, I think that disco is as black a genre as hip-hop, as rap. So for me, when I'm thinking of queer histories, disco was a genre that was unapologetically queer, that received hate for being unapologetically queer and unapologetically black. So that was what I really wanted to bring today. I think what makes tonight special for me is that I didn't know who the Bovines were, but after tonight, I do. And I think any event that I get to go to, that they pay me money to come twirl, and then I get to learn about something, that's special, that's important.
I'm here because my father was a drag queen in the 1980s, and he performed, his name was Hydrangea Bovine, but he would always go, Hydrangea Bovine, darling. And he was with what they called an all-boy girl group. And there were between 4 and 6 of them, depending on who was fighting and who was out. And they were drag queens, and they performed and they raised money for people living with AIDS. So I actually made a documentary about drag and about my dad for the CBC. But it was an amazing story, and I actually interviewed some people here. Ron Dutton, I interviewed him here. He's here. He's a living, talk about a living archive of drag. After my documentary came out, the Museum of Vancouver contacted me, and they said, hey, what do you want to do with those dresses? And I was like, I don't know. So they actually were brought into the collection, and they're part of the permanent collection now, the Museum of Vancouver. So what an amazing honor to have this bag of gowns that were in a garbage bag in the basement that no one knew. It was kind of a secret. It was a little tawdry. It was like men dressing up as women in the 1980s. To have it brought into the light and have it kind of be celebrated is so meaningful to me, because my dad loved Vancouver, and my dad loved this community, and my dad loved drag.
And from an incredible night at the Museum of Vancouver, my name is Leroy Wan.
Coming up next, Ollie takes us over to the House of Venus.
This is Venus Envy documentary on the House of Venus and Wigglefest.
I know all about that.
The iconic House of Venus is reuniting here today for the 30th anniversary of Wiggle and the premiere of Venus Envy, the movie, where we're going to see all of the legendary catwalks, dance, drag performances that have happened at the Wiggles over the years.
I am Cotton, and I am the house mother of the House of Venus. Wiggle started way back when in Windsor, Ontario, when me and my friends from the House of Venus would visit New York and try to bring that energy to Windsor, Ontario at that time, because we were already doing parties and stuff, and we wanted to create something kind of like Wigstock, but our own, where we were already designing our own wearable art. So it was like, let's do a festival, let's call it Wiggle. Wiggle. It was born in 1994. Wiggle is a wearable art drag performance extravaganza. It's basically a platform to express yourself and look as wild and imaginative as possible using your own creativity. The House of Venus is the art collective me and my friends started way back in Windsor to kind of like create positive energy and to do what we wanted to do and create safe spaces. And I mean, we've done so many things with the House of Venus, a media house, a drag house, a fashion house, and it kind of is explained in the film Venus Envy, all of the different facets and means of expression. In a nutshell, it's, you could say, a drag house or an art collective. When we started, we were professional party throwers. We never really stuck with that term.
We were super inclusive, and so it was like the House of Venus was like a real combination of, you know, a lot of straights, gays, trans, you know, people of color, which were hard to find in Vancouver at the time. And it was just like nobody thought about it. It was, you know, we had in these the last years where you hear a lot about female DJs and this and that. We had female DJs all the time in the 90s. We didn't even think we were doing anything that was different. It was just how it was. Total house music, like real house music, which obviously came from like the black queer clubs in Chicago and New York. I think that alone, I mean, it alienated some people who weren't into it, but there's a lot of people that were into it. There's a lot of people that traveled and saw these things in other cities. They were really fierce, and it was like, you know, again, this like supermodel 90s vibe. Runway, we always had a runway, and these supermodel-esque drag queens were working the runway while I was playing this like fierce house music. So I mean, honestly, it was like a mini New York.
Years and years ago, I met the incredible House of Venus people who embraced me and welcomed me in to take part in their amazing events and all their parties. And their wiggles. I was in the first Vancouver Wiggle. I'm going to be walking in the fashion show in a little outfit put together by myself and Charlie's Charmed and Olivier Silvas, artiste, awesome bitch as well, did my hair. And then I'm going to be performing as Freddie Mercury.
Forward 25 years later and it's still happening. It's amazing.
To check out the House of Venus on all social media to know where this movie is going to screen again and to know all about the upcoming Wiggle events. For Outlook TV, this is Ollie in Vancouver.
We have to take a little break now.
Venus Envy. What's it like, T?
I don't think you're pronouncing it correctly.
Oh.
Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
Coming up next, Alberta shows us a thing or two about bouncing balls off of his forearms. It's the Vancouver Gay Volleyball.
We are at the David Lamb Park in Vancouver, Yaletown. We are visiting with the Vancouver Gay Volleyball Association, and they are participating in the Grass League 2024. Let's talk to some of the players.
So we started in 1979. Just a small group of folks came together wanting to play some volleyball and form a little bit of community at the same time. So we started at a school in the West End, right on Denman Street. Came in through the back entrance to make it a little bit safer for folks because it still wasn't super safe for people to be outly gay at that point. So this has been our 45th year, coming into our 45th season, and we've been going strong ever since.
For years now, we've been able to run a very successful grass league here at David Lamb. So we play a 4-on-4 format with various types of nets and people. And it's just a way for us to come together during the summer. It's outside of our normal indoor league. And so it enables people to keep up with their skills and also just enjoy the summer and be outdoors.
We're open to everybody. If you want to just come have some fun and play some volleyball and meet some great people and form a bit of a community within Vancouver, you're welcome to come try and play with us.
I've been in the league here for about 19 years. That's about when I moved to Vancouver from Vancouver Island. When I came to Vancouver, I didn't really know anyone, so I joined a random volleyball team which played on a Sunday night. I would always come a little bit early because I like being early, and it looked like there was this high-level men's league that was playing before. So I would ask a few questions, and I found out it was the Vancouver Gay Volleyball Association. So I asked them questions like, is it just gay or gay-friendly? And they said it was super inclusive and welcoming. So as a straight man, I was like, can I join? So I joined and have had an amazing experience with the league. I've been on the board of directors several times over the years, holding multiple positions. It's allowed me to play volleyball tournaments all across North America, all across the world. I played at Copenhagen and Cologne. So yeah, it's been fantastic. They go from recreational, so people who've never touched a volleyball before, to the highest level, the competitive 4 or open division. So yeah, it's the full range in between. It allows for people to grow as they're part of the league. They can kind of hone their skills and move up in different divisions. Part of our earlier sessions, we actually pair younger members up with mentors. So they do some skills development at the beginning of every session, so they can kind of get more familiar with how to play, positions, and as you move through different levels in the league, you actually start playing different kinds of formations as you start getting more comfortable with it.
We'll be running numerous hub nights and social nights throughout the year as we get our indoor league going. So for all of those people that are interested in the league or wanting to know more about the league, on our website we'll have dates for different social events. We do our Christmas parties, end of the year wrap-up parties, registration parties, and we're happy to have anyone from the community come out and join us in the spirit of sport and allyship. We here at the VGVA are so very grateful to all of our sponsors, and specifically our platinum sponsors this year, which includes Oddball, Workshop, and Canuck Volleyball, Leading Man Tuxedos, Top Drawers, Jason Hutchison Realty, Numbers Cabaret, and Fountainhead Pub, as well as Davie Village RMT. We're very grateful for all of our sponsors. We don't have a league without their sponsorship, and it's very selfless for them to donate money to us in order for us to put events like this on.
From the David Lamb Park in Vancouver, Yaletown, it's Alberta's Roskam for Outlook TV.
From the court to the chorus, Diva Station's got our next story.
It's the Halifax Gay Men's Chorus. Check it out.
All dressed up and no place to go. I wonder what's going on. Halifax Gay Men's Chorus, Once Upon a December. I love choral music. Let's go!
Snow on the ridge and snow on the board, snow on the pasture, snow on the heath.
In 2018, the Podium Conference, which is the biannual conference for Choral Canada, was held in St. John's, Newfoundland. The Vancouver Men's Chorus was in St. John's. They took us aside and said, the Unison Festival is in Halifax. We really should have a queer organization men's chorus in Halifax. And we were challenged to do it. And so there was 4 or 5 of us came home and then held an introductory meeting at the Halifax Central Library, and the rest is history.
I mean, we've grown considerably just in size, but also in scope. I think in our first concerts, we maybe had 40 members on the stage. We're up to 67 active members for this concert, which will be the biggest that we've had so far.
And even during COVID, we didn't stop. We did a number of virtual events, recorded a couple of times virtually, and even recorded a mask-only concert here with no audience, which was kind of cool, and put together a Christmas show online. I wanted it to be a mainstream choir, and that's what we've done. And I think people have come expecting maybe the campiness, which we do provide, no kidding. But we also provide very serious choral music, and they're not expecting that. And they leave, a lot of them, saying their favorite number was one of the choral numbers. And it's really kind of interesting because I think we're introducing choral music to a whole new audience. And I think you see them showing up at other choirs around town because they suddenly realize they really like the choral world. Highlight is opening the Unison Festival, which is the queer choral festival held for the very first time in Halifax earlier this year. And we were one of the headliners for the first night and received a huge reception from choirs from all over Canada who had never seen us before. We've grown with choreographers who have come from the choir. We've grown from lighting designers who've come from the choir. Like, it's just amazing. We ask them, what do you think of? And either they can do it or they know someone close to them who can do it. So it's a really close-knit group.
We have a very diverse group of members of all ages, and everyone is welcome. It's a on-audition community choir, so anyone who sings in the lower voice who is interested in coming and joining us is more than welcome, and we're always happy to welcome new members.
Hey, sing hey for Christmas Day, twine mistletoe and holly.
Well, as expected, the Halifax Gay Man's Chorus was exquisite. I mean, the gays just know how to do stuff. If you ever get a chance, check them out. I'm Devastation for Outlook TV.
Well, it's about that time to take a little break.
Perfect timing. I get to warm up my vocal cords for the chorus.
And I'm sure you're telling the truth.
Me, 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 me.
You came back. Welcome back to Outlook TV.
Patrick's got our next exclusive on the Edmonton Inclusive Hockey.
The Battle of Alberta.
Hey there, it's Patrick Massey from Outlook TV. We're at West Edmonton Mall this evening for the Battle of Alberta. It's put on by the Edmonton Inclusive Hockey Association. It's going to be the Edmonton Rage taking on the Calgary Pioneers. Let's go check out the hockey game.
When we were first founded in 2019, Calgary was already on their way with the CIHA and doing their inclusive thing. So once we founded our group, as you know, Calgary and Edmonton, they're very close together, so it just kind of came to be. We wanted to play together, and the Battle of Alberta is popular in the NHL, and we're like, why don't we do our own?
About 4 years ago now, right after I came out, I was asked to play part of the team. I wasn't part of the Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association yet, and they needed an extra player. And I came out and checked out the Battle of Alberta, hosted by the Rage for the first time. And it was something I'd never seen before in hockey, where we got to play on a kind of a cool big stage, a well-known rink, in front of a lot of people, and to spread the message that hockey is for everyone.
I grew up playing hockey. I started playing when I was 4, and I played till I was 15, and I quit. And I started again a couple years ago when I moved to Edmonton, and I played women's league for a year, but it wasn't quite right for me. And then I saw that the Rage was an option, and that's how I began playing.
Is there anything with the current climate and the Premier just announcing this anti-trans? Is there anything you would like to say?
We don't go anywhere when you make laws against us. As a Métis Two-Spirit person, we've been here way longer than Alberta has ever been a province. And we're going to continue to be here long after Alberta's a province. I would say, if you want to try it out, come play. We have everything from beginner to people who have never skated before to people like me who have played their whole lives. A range of skill, range of everything. Just come out and try it. And you'll probably make some friends at the very least.
I took over for the Rage this year. I've been on the team for 3 years now, and I absolutely love it. It's a wonderful community. They're wonderful people.
Wow, what an inclusive night there was at West Edmonton Mall on the rink, put on by the Edmonton Inclusive Hockey Association. This is Patrick Massey for Outlook TV in Edmonton, Alberta.
How's this for alliteration? Mario takes us all the way over to Montreal.
This is the Montreal Village Cabaret Extravaganza.
Eleganza.
The Société de Développement Commercial SDC du village represents some 255 businesses located on St. Catherine Street East between Berry and Cartier and on Atatacan Street between René Lévesque East and Robin. And this year, the village is offering free shows twice a week all summer long. Street performers are taking over St. Catherine Street with Cabaret Extravaganza featuring different forms of art like dance, circus, burlesque and drag.
The purpose of the Cabaret Extravaganza is to bring that nightlife where usually happen in theater, in bar, in cabaret, in alternative space, in club, on the street. For the people, they're not going inside, they're not paying to see shows, they have the opportunity to see living art performance on the street. The performer of the Cabaret Extravaganza, 3 drag, one is the MC, they have 2 circus artists, 2 dancers, choreographer, and 2 burlesque, boylesque, queerlesque performer. The entire season, because it's 8 weeks, and during those 8 weeks, it's Friday and Sunday night during the happy hour. I hired 48 drag performer, 32 circus artists, 32 dancer choreographer, and 32 burlesque artists. The richness of the meeting of the differences in terms of style, gender, discipline, also with drag or contemporary dance. I have Bollywood, I had tango, rope dance, swords dance too. I find them through my experience. I mean, I've been 25 years in the National Circus School, then I know a lot of circus artists, and also from the contemporary dance. What is great with the village, it's quite small and big at the same time. They have a lot of different type of bar, club, restaurant, a lot of terrace for sure, because the street is closed during the summer. It's a nice and funny and safe space also for everybody's in all the different gender and queerness and gay and lesbian and trans, and yeah, it's wonderful.
So come over to Montreal Village this summer and you'll see what makes this beautiful city so different. This was Mario Langlois in Montreal for Outlook TV.
Well, that's all the time we have left for this episode of Outlook TV, but we will be back.
And you know what you're going to do this year? You're going to check us out on all our social media platforms and volunteer with us.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Emily Ann Fraser.
And my name is T.
Stay fabulous, Canada.